gambling with World War III.
After a fiery blow-up in the Oval Office last week, U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky are reportedly preparing to sign a minerals deal between their two countries. That's according to 4 sources familiar with the situation. 3 of them said that Trump was planning to announce the agreement in his address to Congress Tuesday evening. But they also cautioned that the deal hasn't been signed yet and that things could change. The deal would signal something of an improvement from the disastrous meeting last Friday.
If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin, in 3 days.
That ended with Zelensky's visit to the White House cut short. On Tuesday, the Ukrainian leader posted on social media that Ukraine was ready to sign the deal and called the Oval Office meeting, quote, regrettable.
Gazans gather at a charity soup kitchen in Khan Yunis to receive Ramadan meals cooked by volunteers. Saturday was the first day of Ramadan. 2 days later, after Israel stopped aid deliveries to Gaza, organisers said they'd had to change the menu from meat to lentils because of price increases. Israel blocked the entry of aid trucks on Sunday as a standoff over Gaza's truce escalated. Humanitarian aid agencies warned Gaza's limited stockpiles of food, medicine and shelter supplies may spoil. Volunteers at the kitchen, which provides meals for 20,000 people, feared food shortages. Here's organiser Abu Omar.
The kitchen administration prepared a plan for the month of Ramadan. But the closures of the crossings has disrupted all the plans because of the closure and the extremely high prices.
Hamas-run authorities deployed in local markets to question and detain merchants who put up their prices, according to Hamas sources and witnesses. Ayub Ma'ruf and his family broke their Ramadan fast on the rubble of their house in Jabalia, a sign of the desperate need Palestinians face after the 16-month-long war. Philippe Lazzarini, head of UN Palestinian Relief Agency UNRWA, said Israel's suspension of deliveries threatened lives and that aid and basic services, quote, must never be used as a weapon of war. More than 300 trucks were stopped from crossing the border from Egypt on Sunday, according to the International Federation of the Red Cross, while the Norwegian Refugee Council warned agencies could end up halting shipments of aid altogether because keeping aid trucks waiting in queues is costly. Ma'ruf fears the return of the hunger they suffered in wartime.
We saw our children die at our feet and in front of our eyes, and we couldn't do anything for them. Because of the famine that we witnessed, we ate grass, we cooked grass, and ate it with spoons.
Israel, while announcing the aid suspension, said it will not allow a ceasefire without the release of all remaining hostages. Hamas has denounced Israel's move as blackmail and, quote, a blatant coup against the agreement.
China's parliament is holding its annual meeting under the shadow of US tariffs. With President Xi Jinping looking on, lawmakers on Wednesday committed extra money to boost the economy. China will now issue some $179 billion in special bonds to lift growth. That includes money to subsidize purchases of electric vehicles, appliances and other goods. Premier Li Qiang said the country faced increasing external pressures. Since coming to power in January, US President Donald Trump has added 20% to existing tariffs on Chinese goods.
China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them.
And economists bet there could be more to come. China on Tuesday shot back with its own duties on US exports, and the mounting trade war has put pressure on Beijing to take new stimulus measures. China also faces headwinds including weak household spending and a debt-laden property sector. Even so, Li said the country would set the same growth target as last year.
The key expected development targets for this year are economic growth of around 5%, an urban unemployment rate surveyed at around 5.5%, over 12 million new urban jobs, a consumer price increase of around 2%, resident income growth in line with economic growth, and a basically balanced international balance of payments.
Since the pandemic, China has bet on what it calls new productive forces, pouring money into things like advanced manufacturing. But economists have urged Beijing to do more to reduce the country's dependence on exports. On Wednesday, Li said the government would take steps to boost household spending, currently far below the global average. However, he offered no timeline for the measures.
Patients at Orthopedic Movement Physical Therapy in New York City come to treat back pain, improve mobility, and even help the function of internal organs. But a more unusual service the clinic offers has had patients coming back for more: eggs.
We normally buy pasture-raised, so it's a little pricier than that, but not by much at this point with where prices are going.
With U.S. egg prices at record highs amid shortages from outbreaks of bird flu, $9 a dozen for this clinic's free-range eggs has become a deal, as grocery store egg prices have topped $10 a dozen in major cities such as New York.
We've always sold out, even prior to the shortage.
Physical therapist Miho Urisaka brings the eggs from her farm in Putnam Valley, about 50 miles north of the city.
What inspires you? What sort of keeps you going?
Honestly, the taste. Yeah, I just want to eat good eggs for myself. Doing this for 2 years now, I will say that Justin does all of the work.
Justin Baker is Urisaka's husband and the co-founder of Cucumber Hill Farm.
We're getting right now about 150, 160 eggs per day.
He says raising healthy birds is key to getting great tasting eggs.
They're able to move about, they're able to scratch and peck and do express these natural chicken behaviors.
It's kind of like humans too, you know, you need your food, you need your water, you need your sunshine, you need recreation, decreased stress.
Baker says despite the record high prices elsewhere, the cost of their eggs are steady.
As our feed prices fluctuate, that might affect the prices of our eggs, but other than that, we haven't been affected by bird flu or any of the other pressures in the market.
Physical therapy patient Emily Gerard said she can taste the difference.
$9 is fine with me. I know the quality is very good. And I know who raised the chickens, and so I know what went into them. So I know there's integrity. And they just taste actually better. And I feel better. I care about what goes into my body.
"15 years after a deadly earthquake struck Chile's southern coast, scientists are predicting another potentially large one.
Every 10 years, a major event occurs.
Felipe Leighton is a seismologist at the Chilean National Seismology Center, where scientists have been observing accumulating stress. He says that indicates potential for a major earthquake, this time in the country's mineral-rich north. Chile's location on the seismically active Ring of Fire that surrounds the Pacific Ocean makes it prone to large quakes. Its mountains and earthquakes are the product of the Nazca and South American tectonic plates crashing into each other. On February 27, 2010, an 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck Chile's southern coast near the city of Concepcion. It lasted 4 minutes and unleashed a tsunami that killed 550 people. It was the country's deadliest natural disaster since a quake in 1960, the strongest on record. As the world's largest copper producer and second largest lithium producer, Chile's biggest copper mines are located in the north, as well as all of its lithium production. Geologist and University of Santiago professor Mohamed Ayaz Alam says there hasn't been any large releases in the region. That indicates built-up stress could be brewing, he says.
Earthquakes happen due to stress accumulation, which depends on the time since the last seismic event. We are expecting a mega earthquake in northern Chile, as no major events have occurred there.
He says while the country is prepared,
more improvements around false tsunami alerts are needed.